The name's Bond. James Bond.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I drink your milkshake.
You can't handle the truth.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
Alright everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Movie Mafia podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Trout, joined by my other co-hosts, Max, Gabby, Lauren. We're all here, we're all back. Another episode of the Movie Mafia podcast. And I know I've said before we've had jam-packed episodes, but this episode is filled to the brim. More than any other episode we've had before. This might be a long one. Alright, so fasten your seatbelts, buckle in. Alright, here we go. So the Super Bowl was just this past weekend. And, Super Bowl is always going to give us good trailers, good movie trailers. And it didn't disappoint this year. So we got a couple new trailers for the Syndercut, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and the Venom 2 sequel movie, Let There Be Carnage. So, guys, what did you think about some of the trailers that we got from the Super Bowl weekend?
I'll go. I really love the Falcon Winter Soldier trailer. I think it's fantastic, and the music was also a great musical choice in the trailer, and a lot of surprises. It does seem like Zemo is going to be the main villain of the show, which I didn't know was going to be the case, but it definitely felt like that. And I can watch Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan having a staring contest at the end of the trailer just all day long. It's hilarious. So it comes out, I think, 2 weeks after WandaVision's done. So this MCU train is just not stopping at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Just it definitely feels like non-stop superhero stuff. I gotta say, for me, I was always kind of worried about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Personally, I've never liked Falcon's character. Like, I always thought he has this weird place where he's just like, is he there? Like, what does he do? Like, I just don't know. I just don't know, like, why. He just seems like a discounted version of the Winter Soldier. But, like, the Winter Soldier is actually cool because of, like, how he struggles with, like, his mind control and, like, brainwashing and stuff. Like, maybe I'm being a little too critical because I do like Anthony Mackie as an actor, and I do think he like does the role well, and he's funny and stuff. But like there's not going to be a Falcon solo movie for a reason. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Well,
So
that's why this show is going to work, I think, for you more than everyone, because now he's going to get a show where it's even longer than a movie, and he's with Winter Soldier the entire time. So I mean, come on.
yeah, I mean that is true. That is true. I gotta say, before this trailer, I was not really excited about the show, and I kind of just thought it would be a little boring and not very interesting. But after the trailer, I'm interested. I'm not like head over heels, but I'm definitely looking for more information, and I'm 100% gonna be watching this show. Gabby, Lauren, I don't know what you guys thought about this trailer from, just like an outside perspective.
Yeah, it came up on my TV as I was watching the Super Bowl, and I was like, oh, this seems like a pretty cool movie. Not knowing anything about it, not knowing like who the characters were or anything. And I'm saying this like, wow, this trailer is really good. Like, I'm really excited to see this movie. And then it came up about what movie it was, and I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, well, now I'm gonna watch it. So honestly, the trailer hooked me. Like I said, as we all know, I'm not a big like superhero person or whatever, but honestly, Marvel has kind of been kicking it in the ass lately. Like, I feel like I'm really getting hooked into Marvel, and I have to go like and watch all the other Marvel movies. But that's my point of view. I was really excited for it, and I'm still excited for it. So that's kind of my thing.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it. I'm questioned. This Falcon thing, is this picking up after like Captain America died, and then this is like
Well, yeah, I mean technically he's like old.
He's old, yeah.
Yeah, he's old. He's like an old man or whatever. But yeah.
Yes, it's after Endgame, yes.
Yeah, because Falcon has the Cap shield that Cap gave him at the end of Endgame to pass him down to the next Cap.
And so is Captain America just kind of just like cheering him on from the sidelines, like
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna be involved or not. That's
he's
definitely
not in the show at all. No.
He's not in the show at all. Okay. Yeah. So
it's also based on the comics. There's a new person who's playing like Captain America, but he's not Captain America. Like he's pretending to be Captain America. And that's I don't know if you guys saw it in the trailer, but he's the guy who's on the football field, that football clip that's in the trailer. that is the new Captain America, but he's not really Captain America. It's that type of thing from the comics, but he'll be in the show as well.
Captain America, the rebrand.
Yes, no, exactly. Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
if they rebrand him, they have to give him a new outfit.
Yeah.
That's true.
Ooh.
You know, I'm still in the camp of people that it doesn't feel right that the Winter Soldier isn't that he's not going to be that Bucky's not going to be the next Captain America. Like I get it, but
Yeah, I saw your point, but you brought it up earlier too. How easily Winter Soldier could be brainwashed. Like I don't know, Sam wouldn't be that brainwashed, and he used to be a soldier. It just made perfect sense for Sam.
yeah, but like I'll never get like the Winter Soldier's so
Yeah.
developed. Like he has such a big part in the first Avenger, and then also in obviously Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and even in like Civil War he had stuff. And it was just he's so involved. It's just like when I look at Falcon's character, I'm like, okay, he's cool. And when I look at the Winter Soldier, I'm like, there's so much more to this character. But I get it, like
Where'd Bucky go?
in the first Captain America movie, the first Avenger, he was a part of Captain America's like strike team, and then they were doing like a behind enemy lines attack thing on the Germans, and he fell off the train and was presumed dead. But like the Germans captured him and brainwashed him.
Hydra.
Yeah, Hydra, whatever.
And then he was like fighting everyone, and he was
Yeah.
And then Cap is like, "Come on, I remember you," and he's like, brainwashed." And
Yeah.
then they like, I know that everyone like ships them together because they're like best friends.
Yeah.
And where's his arm? What happened to the metal arm?
I think that was just
It fell off at the landing, didn't he? When he fell off, the arm.
yeah, I think when he yeah.
When he landed.
Yeah.
You could lend him a hand. He could really use one.
Wow. Now, I wanted to bring
Oh
this up
my
too,
God. Go ahead.
With that trailer was that Peggy Carter's niece is back.
Yes. And she's
which is a
fighting
big
them.
surprise, which is I'm happy about it. I think she seemed like a badass in Winter Soldier, and then Civil War, had a fling, I guess. with
Oh my
Captain
God, that was
America.
the worst.
But-
That was the worst.
But I think this is exciting. Her fight scene looked awesome. I think she's a total badass. Are you excited to see her?
Yeah, well, she was fighting them, wasn't she?
What was she?
What-
I don't think.
I thought
so.
she was. Okay. Oh yeah. Well, I might have to watch it again because I watched it once and
I don't
it
think
was
that
kind of
she
quick.
was not.
I thought she was fighting them for a second. Like I was.
I don't think so.
Okay, I might have to watch it again. But yeah, no, I mean she's a good character. It's definitely interesting to see how she fits into that like kind of world. But at the same time, every time I see her on screen, all I think is that Captain America was dating this girl who's the granddaughter of the woman he loved.
Yes.
That's what he's doing. And that is
Yeah, it was crazy.
super weird, bro. That is super weird.
Do you think they make a joke about that in the show? They might make a joke about that in the show,
Uh,
honestly.
Now I don't know. Because now how does that even work? Because like he went back in time, right, and lived out his whole life with Peggy.
Yep.
So like,
So it
but
changed.
he still was with her. So I don't
He's
think.
in an alternate reality, probably, dude. It's not that complicated, I don't think. They're not
Okay,
gonna do
because
that.
it's gonna be like
Shift between parallel realities, and like there's only slight changes.
Yep.
because like how wouldn't that
I'm good
change?
now.
So hold up. More questions here. More questions to follow. So if
Oh,
Peggy has kids, right, and eventually she must have had kids because that's how it leads to the granddaughter. So the person that she had kids with is now like deleted, right? Because it's Captain America instead. So wouldn't she like technically not be born or be like a different person
In that reality.
in that separate reality? So like
No, I think you're looking into it too deep. They kind of forgot about that whole. There's a reason why she wasn't.
is Captain America a pedophile?
Yeah. Actually, no, it was not incest because in the world where Captain is like hanging out with the granddaughter, in that world he didn't get to live out his life with her.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he wasn't the dad. He's not DNA involved there. But in the
Okay.
new reality, when he goes back, they're gonna be different kids, different grandkids. She might not even exist anymore.
So Captain America went to an alternate reality and lived his life with Peggy over here. And then when she died, since he's like super serum powered guy, he lives for like forever. So he hopped back to his normal reality where he was never with Peggy. Right? Is that what happened? You guys think? Does that make sense?
I
Yep.
I don't
sense
understand. I
He
don't
really
understand
thought
anything.
it out loud.
He lived out his entire life in one reality
He
and made like
did.
relationships and friendships, and then just hopped to this reality when he was done.
It's not that. I don't think they're not even gonna talk about it.
He's not grocery shopping. He's not running errands here. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he has lived two lives in two different realities.
Yeah, but like
which
he
are
just
completely
gave up all his friends. Like,
different.
what if he had kids with her in that other reality, and then just like left them to return to his default reality? Captain America,
They
bro.
weren't dating though. They just had a kiss.
Wrong with
That was the weird part. They just kissed. They weren't dating or anything.
Guys, I'm so lost.
Yeah, welcome to the MCU. All right, well, before we go
That's
farther
not
down the
true.
rabbit hole, maybe we should just continue to these
I
trailers.
think you get a whiteboard that you can start mind mapping your ideas.
Okay. Do I need to get a whiteboard too, Gabby, in addition to the $100 worth of posters I bought?
Right behind you on
Yeah.
the blank wall. Just paint it with like whiteboard paint, and then just
Or
start
that chalkboard paint, and you can do a chalkboard.
chalkboard paint, and then just start like making like one of those like murder charts that they have in TV shows that you connect all the dots, and then boom, you're suspect. Like I don't know
So
what.
now you're gonna need a cork board for that, so you can pin stuff in. You're gonna also need red yarn. Create the perfect conspiracy board. You also need a printer and scissors and tape.
It will be quite fun, and that'll help me too. 'Cause I'm a very visual person. So.
And you have to cross out all the I's with little X's.
I'll get right on it. Oh my gosh. All right, well, let's keep going for the rest of these Super Bowl trailers. So we also had the trailer for Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. This was kind of a weird trailer. It wasn't like a traditional trailer. He just kind of it was, I guess it was a little bit of a teaser trailer. I guess that's how it kind of fits into it. Max, what did you think about what we saw from Venom 2?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still kind of mixed on excitement for the film. I'm excited about it because Andy Serkis is now directing the film. I think he's he's one of my favorite actors, but directing wise, I'm excited to see what he can do. But I don't know. I'm very mixed on the first film. I thought there were some really fun parts, and there's some laughably bad parts to it. So I really don't know I have no idea how they're gonna. And it seems like they're gonna start connecting this to Spider-Man very very soon, because Tom Holland's deal is only 2 movies now with Disney and the MCU. So he's gonna have to go into this universe now with Venom and Morbius. So I'm interested. I'm pumped that Woody Harrelson is in a big movie again, doing Carnage. But I'm very mixed.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird seeing Woody Harrelson. I think as like
Uh-huh.
as like a symbiote villain like that, especially with the wig he has on, just looks very
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah.
It's honestly, I don't want to jinx this because I actually am in the camp of people who loved the 2018 Venom movie, and like it was not. I'm sorry, it was not like comic book accurate or whatever, but like, and it got bad reviews from like the official critics, but it had a really high like fan review, and also I just thought it was super entertaining, and I loved watching it. It was hilarious. The special effects and the CGI were absolutely phenomenal. They were amazing, I thought. And then like plot wise, yeah, probably like a D on the plot. But like it was hilarious. His inner like dialogue with himself or with his like Venom self or whatever was hilarious. It was really good. There were definitely some bad bits, but like most of the action was good. Most of like the comedy was really good. And I think that's if you can get that, that's good enough. It's not going to give you like a great movie, I guess, but it was one of the most entertaining movies ever watched. If that makes sense.
I think they could make a great movie out of Venom, honestly. And I thought that I'll disagree. I thought the story was terrible across the board, and that's why I kind of thought that Carnage is exciting because the villain in the first one is terrible. Riz Ahmed, who I'll talk about later, getting nominated at the Globes. He's a great actor. He was wasted. And then the Michelle Williams love story was also terrible. So I just want to see a more focused Venom movie. Hopefully now we're just getting Venom talking to himself, which again, that's my favorite part of the entire film. I struggle with everything else around the two of them, honestly.
I get that. I kind of get that. And I'm curious what you guys thought, Lauren, Gabby, about Venom. Like it's kind of a dark movie, but like also
I don't know much about
comedian.
Venom in general, but like I I would go back and watch the first one first, and then watch this new one. But I do like the whole thing of like talking to a creature that's kind of like a parasitic inside of you. Like that's fun. Like I feel like they could have some fun inside jokes with each other, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think
Mhm.
if I can just go back for a second, my favorite part, like my favorite scene, hands down. Well, one of my favorite scenes, I should say, because my favorite scene is probably the transformation. But one of my favorite scenes of the original Venom movie from 2018, just to show off like the kind of comedy that that movie has. I don't remember. He's in like this big building. I forget what he was doing there, what his purpose was. I think he was trying to steal some information or something. But there's like a whole police SWAT team that like came into the building that is trying to like find Venom, and um he's on like I don't know like 50 stories up in this huge building, and he looks over the edge of the building and like to jump out of the building. And since he has like the symbiote in him, he can withstand the fall. But it's Eddie Brock, the guy, and then Venom inside of him, and they're talking to each other. And then I forget the exact dialogue, but Venom is jump, like jump, Eddie, it's the only way. And then Eddie looks over it, and then it cuts, and then Eddie's inside the elevator, going down the elevator because he was too scared to jump outside the window. And then Venom just goes in his inner dialogue to him, just goes pussy, like or something like that to him. And I just thought it was hilarious, like that interaction between the two characters. I just thought was totally
great.
makes it.
Tom
Yeah.
Hardy's a great actor, and he does the voice too. And again, I'm excited for this film. I think there's a better director than the first one with this movie, so it could be really good. I just feel like the main issue for me, honestly, was that a lot of the action scenes were all in the dark, and you have a dark suited superhero. I couldn't really see what the hell was going on half the time. So that was it for me, honestly. That was the main issue I had with the movie.
Yeah.
But if they do it in a day, I'll be. If they shoot it better, which I think Circus will, I'll enjoy this a lot more than the first one.
I feel like even though the character like is dark and it seems very nighttimey vibes, it isn't he like kind of like liquidy and like slimy.
Yeah,
He
kind of.
is, but it's just yeah.
As someone who I do a lot of studio lighting, like there is so much interesting contour you could get with some reflective creature. You know, like they definitely could.
They
get
could
some
have.
interesting-
I just
Yeah.
didn't. It just didn't work, and also because the villain is also basically Venom 2.0 in the first one. So and
those two gooey.
Yeah.
It's like the gooey creature is like a parasite on a planet of gooey creature parasites. And
Yes.
they like a whole pod of gooey creature parasites lands on the planet on Earth. And so
Yes.
multiple people get like
Need
venomified.
a host.
Yeah.
Like not
Yes,
all-
exactly.
So it has to have a host.
And certain people aren't compatible, so they just instantly die. And Tom Hardy's character was just lucky to be compatible.
Compatible, yeah.
Yeah.
So could this parasite leave him and choose someone else, and then would that kill him?
No. So in the
Okay.
show he leaves him at different times, and like
Yes.
he goes into his girlfriend for one of the scenes, and like that's another scene that like I'm sure Max doesn't like and a lot of people didn't like.
Does she
They're like
die?
most people no, she doesn't. So it's like
Well,
most
she turns
people
into
aren't
Bella.
able to like be compatible. But Tom Hardy or like Eddie Brock's character and his love interest are just both compatible. Okay. So, that's kind of
That's
dumb.
odd. So that also makes me think that these parasites might be manipulating human DNA in order to be able to use them as hosts.
Yeah, it's they don't explore too much of like the DNA
They don't at
transfer.
all.
Yeah. But that would definitely be interesting to see. I don't know. You should really watch the first movie. It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
it's weird.
I still recommend it. It's still a fun enough movie. I just
No, it's not winning any Golden Globes.
no.
No. But yeah.
No.
And we did have one more trailer we wanted to touch on quick. We didn't get too much new information out of this, but we have another teaser trailer for the Snyder Cut. So, kind of like the same shots and the same music. It's obvious that Zack Snyder loves Hallelujah, but yeah, because he's used it for like multiple trailers now, and we know that we're gonna get a official, brand new trailer on Valentine's Day. That's a big deal. That's a brand new Snyder Cut trailer. It's gonna come, on Valentine's Day. But the
Yeah.
Super Bowl little trailer we got was interesting. You know, again, like I said, it didn't give too much new stuff. But all I can say is I've never been a Zack Snyder fan. Actually, I really dislike Zack Snyder because I think he's done a lot of like bad stuff for DC. Like I think he's made a lot of bad movies. But I watched this trailer between when I first watched it, like yesterday, and today. I've watched it like 15 times. I actually really love this trailer. Like I don't know what it is. It's the music and like the shots. I am just totally head over heels for this trailer, and I'm actually more excited than I've ever been for the Snyder Cut. I'm curious what you guys thought and your first impressions of the trailer.
Yeah, I'm different with you. I'm mixed on Snyder. Like Man of Steel is my easily top tier favorite DCEU film, but I'm not a big fan of Batman v Superman. So, but I do like Watchmen a lot. So, it's a very mixed bag. It's 4 hours long, so you got to commit to it. But I just want to see the movie already. We've literally been promoted. He's been promoting this since the movie came out in 2017. Honestly. So I think at this point, luckily it comes out, I think in a month, right? The official date was like March 19th or something.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
We're only a month away from seeing this movie, and then either people are gonna love this movie and like F Josh Whedon, F all the people who made that first one, and or what Snyder was trying to do wasn't that good either.
Yeah, I mean that's the ultimate question. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about the Snyder Cut? Did you guys get a chance to watch the trailer, Gabby, Lauren?
Yeah. This was the link that says Golden Globes nomination announcement. That link?
No. The top link in there, the one
The first
for
link, yes.
yeah.
I did watch that, and it was just like the montage, and they were like,
Yeah, yeah. I was just
Yeah.
curious what you thought about do you have any thoughts about the trailer?
I don't know. I wasn't like amazed. It's just a bunch of things. I sound so like I just know so many things.
No problem. I mean,
Uh,
I don't know. I think I'm probably one of.
what
I
is
guess I'm alone with the fandom for the Snyder Cut trailer here, but
No, I'm pumped for it. Again,
you are okay.
I'm watching this movie sitting down for 4 straight hours. Like I'm in for this movie. I just want it to be good. That's all. Because I love a lot of the actors and a lot of these characters. And I think a lot of people, you forget about it, but the Avengers were not a big thing. It was always about the Justice League for a lot of people growing up reading comic books. So this is a pretty big deal if they do this right, which is going to be hopefully Snyder does a good job with it.
what's like the big thing about doing it right? Like, what do you think? Like,
I don't know. I think
is there like a main thing, or is it a bunch of things?
the main thing that I hated about the Justice League movie was that they changed a lot of the characters. They didn't feel like the characters from previous films. I talked about that a lot with Batman. It was a totally different Batman. It just felt like it didn't feel like a DC. It didn't fit in the universe at all, in my opinion. Honestly, it just didn't.
It was inconsistent, and it just didn't like make sense.
They cut out a lot of background footage, so like Cyborg's character was Cyborg and the Flash were basically never in a superhero movie before Justice League came out. So it's like they're two brand new characters to the universe. So it's like you can't just throw them in. Like we need to know stuff about them. Like why am I rooting for this character? Like what makes this character interesting or appealing? So all the shots of those were completely gone. So the Snyder cuts, yeah, and Aquaman too. So it's like there's nothing for all three of those characters. But in the Snyder cut, we have like the trailer. We have a little bit of teasing at scenes that could give us more background information on these characters, these new characters. But one of the biggest things in the movie for me was just a lack of like motivation or like I just don't understand why I give a crap about these characters. And that on top of like some of the the famous Henry Cavill's mustache CGI'd out. He had a mustache for like the Mission Impossible the movie, the Tom Cruise one, right? And he was the villain in that movie. He has contracted to have a mustache in that movie, and at the same time he was in that movie, they were filming the Justice League, so they had to CGI his mustache off and his lip looked all like weird. So that was a whole thing. And then like
his character too was terrible in the movie. His character, like Superman, I
Yeah.
love Henry Cavill as Superman, and seeing that we're gonna see black suited Superman, this Dark Side. I'm pumped to see what Henry Cavill can do because who knows if this is the last time we get to see Cavill play this character because it doesn't seem like he's gonna come back. So I hopefully they make this character good. So everyone reuniting once another Superman, a Man of Steel too, which is what I've been really looking forward to for a long time.
Yeah. So there's definitely hope for the Snyder Cut. If this Snyder Cut flops, I'm probably done on like a whole Justice League team up thing for a while. Like I don't want to see characters cross over for a while if this flops too. Then it's just like you need to go really back to the drawing board. I know. I'm like there's a ton of light going around right now.
Is there like an angelic presence?
I know, it's because I'm talking about the Snyder Cut, honestly.
Must be.
Oh wow.
Here, I'm gonna go fix my light. Here, let's move into the next.
No, I like it.
You like it? Okay, I'll leave it.
Yeah, it's fun. It looks like you're either gonna get abducted by aliens or you're about to have like a god experience, and I would like.
Yeah, I was just like about to like go up into heaven and be like, oh.
If you have an out of body experience, you have to tell us.
I'll let you know.
Oh, please do. Check CoStar. CoStar can give you some insight.
Oh my
into
gosh.
why this is happening.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I'll let you know. I'll keep you guys updated on my out of body experiences. But I do want to talk about WandaVision, guys. Everyone has been waiting to this moment. WandaVision episode 5. Oh my god, my brains are on the floor. Holy crap. All the Quicksilver ridiculousness, Evan Peters. Oh my gosh. So who's going to start for us? We need to talk about WandaVision. Who wants to start?
So I figured it out. I watched the entire 5 episodes yesterday, and I figured it out. So basically, Evan Peters, he's the actor from the other universe. They brought back the wrong guy, which means that either mutants now exist in this world, or they don't, and it's just like a hoax. And then there's this thing where like she creates reality in her little world, and I really like this. It's cool. I also think that she is the new redhead because like Black Widow's dead, so like she's the it girl now, Oh yeah, and she had kids. Like what?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they like aged up so quick.
This episode was crazy, and like the whole like mind thing that like Wanda is literally in their minds, and this is the first time that we've actually seen Sword and Wanda like interact with each other. Like we've seen Sword trying to interact with Wanda, but Wanda steps out of her own universe-ish thing and actually interacts with them and threatens them like, look, stop messing with me. Like that's it. Like this is your warning. And that was crazy. And then she was able to like mind control them. And I'm just like, that takes a lot of power. Like that was crazy. And then it's weird that Vision is also starting to kind of like figure it out.
Vision's alive?
Well, yeah, we got amazing backstory that Wanda, a week before this event of the show, went into Sword, and Sword was trying to use Vision for weapons, and she took Vision's corpse, which is why she's trying to bring him back to life. There was so much greatness. This is my favorite episode. Each episode, it feels like we keep saying this is the best episode, which is great, which is how a show's supposed to work, in my opinion. But multiple things that I loved. Obviously, Evan Peters, who I just love from the last 3 X-Men films. I just think he's amazing. And it was because I didn't know it would happen this early into the show, because there is supposed to be another bigger cameo coming at the end of the end of the season. So I was like, they're not doing this now, and then it's Evan Peters, so it was great. But again, Monica Rambeau is just becoming one of my favorite parts of the show as well. Really,
I love that her name is Rambeau.
Yeah,
really cool. But I thought what was interesting was she definitely does not seem to like Captain Marvel anymore. They kind of hinted that when they were talking about Avengers Endgame, and Jimmy Woo was like, Captain Marvel almost killed Thanos, and Monica Rambeau just didn't really like that he brought that up. Something happened with Captain Marvel that did not sit with her, which must have been major, because they were like, if you watch the movie, they were very close friends. So definitely wanted to add that into the discussion as well.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely an interesting talking point. Honestly, I totally forgot that she was that girl from the Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah,
Totally forgot that. Honestly.
yeah.
And then the wasn't so the whole deal was she was the little girl, right? Because that movie took place.
Yep.
Didn't that movie take place in like the 80s or something
90s,
or
yeah,
90s?
exactly.
So that and
Yep.
then like the older woman that was
That,
Captain Marvel's age at the time was her mom that died.
correct. That was a big Maria Rambo who started Shield. I mean, it's not Shield, Sword.
Sword,
She
yeah.
started Sword. Correct. So this is a, and also my favorite part too is that and you know, Gabrielle brought this up too. Wanda coming out to talk to the Sword people. She brought back the Sokovian accent, which she hadn't used since Avengers: Age of Ultron, which I thought was really a nice touch to the scene.
Yeah, for sure. And
Also, the
go ahead.
fact that the twins can just age,
Age.
they just
Yep.
looked at each other and like, all right, you want to be 10? Let's be 10. And they just
Yeah.
aged.
Are
I
they
was
like
like,
all powerful beings? Like what?
that's, I want to know.
It's like you get a superpower, you get a superpower. You want power? Sure. You get a humpback whale. Like
Twin collab. Yay, we aged 5 years. Like,
so I want to know like cuz I guess like I don't know, their parents are powerful, but like are they going to get this like red like magic shit that they can just like
They have completely different powers from their parents.
oh, I like kind of
One of
like
them has
the red.
one of them has a little bit of Wanda's powers, like the telekinesis. One of them has that, but they really don't have the same powers at all.
What I want to know is, are they real? Because every single
Yes.
person, so we know Wanda and Vision are there, and we know all the people, like the miscellaneous citizens, are being mind controlled. But the two
Yep.
kids are the most interesting thing for me because they age up. So are they in real life aging themselves up? Is that like some sort of ability, or are they like different people that are mind controlled at different times, or are they like some like not a real person, but just something that like Wanda was able to create. Like I don't understand how
Yeah.
if they're real people, how they're able to age themselves up.
They don't rely on the
yeah,
same
we
rules
like,
as raw reality because they're in their own reality. They're in
Yes.
a separate reality that has separate rules.
Yeah. And Vision brings this up earlier in the episode or last episode. Is that these are the only kids we've ever seen in the entire show so far. Like, there's no other kids in Westview. Vision even says that it's very weird that, of course, they have kids, but no one else. There's no kids around. That's a huge point of to your discussion. Could they be real? Does Wanda allow them? Like, I have again in the comic books, it was a mix. Sometimes they were real, sometimes they weren't. It's a real fine line with those kids. But yeah, they grew up so fast. It went from 5 to 10 year olds, and the dog already died by the end of the episode, which I thought was really heartbreaking too. But Agatha, I mean, or Agnes had a great episode where she started off. The first scene is really like a horror movie where she comes into the room and she's like, can I retake this? Like she's actually in a sitcom. And Vision's like, what are you doing? Like Vision's very off about her for the right reason because she definitely killed that dog. Because the dog definitely found something that the dog was not supposed to look for. So that's what I kind of think about that.
like to
Yeah,
your point, I was gonna bring up the same thing about the children, and I caught on that there was one part where Sword kind of brought up, and they said like, no, these are actual, like these are Wanda's children, like there's no doubt about that. But we're not sure if they're Wanda's children or Wanda and Vision's children. That's what we are.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're
So
still confused
Wanda
about.
has Vision's dead body, but not the
Yes.
Infinity Stone. So
Mm, that's
well,
right.
technically, that Infinity Stone, that one specifically, was taken by Thanos, used in his gauntlet to kill like half the population. Then he
The
used the
thing is,
stones to
yeah.
destroy the stones. So the stones are
Yes.
officially dust and they're completely
Done.
destroyed. They went
Done.
then they went to a different reality, pulled different Infinity Stones out of that reality and
Yep.
used them to defeat Thanos, and then took them and put them back in that reality. So there is
Yes.
no Infinity Stones in the reality
None.
that
None.
Wanda's living in. There's zero Infinity
but
Stones.
I want to say that the stones are neither created nor destroyed. Like I want to say that they kind of they don't exist in the 3D, but I think that they might like the essence of them exists within the universe, just not in stone form. Is what I kind of want to feel like.
Yeah.
Just like the laws of physics
But
and
how does that
quantum
work with
entangled.
Vision?
Yeah.
And I
Like,
also think that Vision is quantumly entangled with the stone, even if the stone isn't a 3D thing.
so how would you restore him? Would you have to bring the stone
Yeah,
back or
I don't.
siphon off power
I
from the
actually don't
stone?
know much about Vision. Is he's purely a robot, or he's more of a sentinel? Like
he's not a human or anything like that. No.
he's not
He's a
human at all. So
mixture. He's a
he
mixture of
technically
Ultron and Jarvis, right? He's a mixture of Ultron and Jarvis. That's his combination, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It started in Age of Ultron, where, like, if you guys remember in 2012, the Avengers movie, there was like, in order to stop, like, this nuke that the government launched a nuke on New York because New York was getting invaded by aliens, and they didn't trust the Avengers to stop them. So Tony had to redirect the nuke through like a wormhole, and like when he went through the wormhole, like he started tripping out, and like and there's a bunch of other stuff too. Like he has these intense visions, and like he's worried about the future of um Earth, and he felt like there was this oncoming threat, and the threat was Thanos. But at the time, he didn't know it. So he had all this stuff prepared, and he was so intensely worried about like saving the Earth. So he developed Ultron or whatever. Like his whole purpose was like he wanted to develop an AI that could protect the world. And he developed Ultron, but Ultron became like smart, I guess, and then rebelled against Tony and tried to like destroy the human race. So to stop Ultron, he made Vision, which is like Ultron but better. So it's like part of Ultron, like the good parts,
And
but like
Jarvis.
not the bad parts. So then
when
Vision
was, like,
defeats Ultron.
created-
And yeah.
When he was created, was it like he was created and like the Infinity Stone was like that was like part of the plan to use
Yes.
it, or was it just like that was just kind of a guess?
The stone is the centerpiece on how to create. Yes, the centerpiece is how you create Vision for sure. Yes, that's right.
Interesting.
Interesting.
So I don't know
about
how
this
he could be
often.
part of Wanda's kids like at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, 'cause
That's
he's
the
an
question.
android,
That's why
so
this is so
He's an android.
But,
That's
because he had the Infinity Stone, he technically was like a conscious life form.
yeah,
Because I think that
AI, yeah.
if he is a conscious thing, I
Huh?
think in the world of this, the dead aren't really dead. I think they kind of have their own, like the soul goes somewhere in this world kind of thing. And if Vision has some type of soul or consciousness, then like technically there can maybe they bring a ghost version of him back. Or they just maybe in their reality Wanda creates like that's just the essence of him. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, but
It's
she
so
definitely
weird.
took his body to bring him back. Obviously, is what the whole point of that scene was.
If the body's still warm.
But even that briefing, right? The head of Sword only said negative stuff about Wanda. Like he only brought up Wanda fighting with Ultron in that movie. He also brought up Lagos, which was the commercial, which I thought was funny. Which is what she basically led to the Sokovia Accords in Civil War. So a lot of I think we're also going to get Wanda versus Vision this season. I mean, it was really building into it at the end of the episode where Vision like rose up because he was so pissed off at Wanda. I feel like we're going to see Wanda versus Vision at some point this season.
Yeah, one of the things I really liked about this episode was the horror elements of it, and we were like slightly teased of it the last episode, I believe, where it showed Vision's corpse like all with depowered or whatever. Like after Thanos ripped the stone out of him, we saw that at the end of the episode. I think that was the previous episode, the episode before last, I guess. But that was all we really had. That was kind of scary, and I guess maybe Wanda throwing Monica through the wall. But other than that, that was like a little bit teases at that, and now it's like full blown, full blown like villain Wanda. Like I was wondering how they were gonna do this, but I mean we saw and the horror elements of this episode were like really cool. Like we saw obviously the scene with what was her name again? The girl in the beginning asking to redo her lines. Agnes, right? And then that was like really like tense. And then there was the other scenes with the guy at the area where Vision works, who when Vision snapped him out of it, he was like freaking out and like he was hysterical. He's like it hurts, the pain. and like that was like
Oh, my
really
family.
sad. Yeah, like that was really like upsetting to watch. And then
Yeah.
and then I you know people always thought like is Wanda being mind controlled, like what's happening to Wanda here? And then she freely out of her own will walks out of the area like and it looks like she's gonna kill someone. I mean, she looks pissed, like full villain Wanda. And then even her interactions with Vision, like even if she's a villain to everybody else, she should be the most honest with Vision. And she's blatantly lying to his face. She looks like she looks like the type of person where it's like if I can't have you, no one can have you. Like some super dark, like almost like she would hurt Vision if she thought it was for the better for him or
And-
whatever. Like it was
and
just
she was
very
hi-
dark.
And she was hypocritical to her kids because remember the kids were like, "You can bring back the dog to life," and then Vision's like, she was like, "You can't bring anyone back to life. You just have to move on." And that's the whole point of what she's doing is bringing back Vision, which is
that was definitely put in there for a reason. Like this plus this was the first episode that we went back to like the decade style, yet we also saw parts of like Sword as well.
Yeah.
This is the first like double plot kind of episode, if you know what I mean. Like
Well,
we're following the like Sword time that was happening, and then we're still following Wanda's TV show kind of thing. So we're following both now. Instead of focusing on just Wanda and Vision in their world or just Sword like last episode. So this is the first episode that they were truly mixed. And it was 80s themed. So that was pretty cool. We got to the 80s finally. I really liked that. Hopefully next week is 90s. So I don't know. It's definitely something like really cool, like just on the side as well. Like that I'm also just paying attention to. Like I don't know. This show is so well done. There's so many things I could talk about.
Yeah,
I need those Kevlar pants.
and I wanted to obviously bring up Quicksilver at the end here, Jacob, too. Do you like him a lot in those? Because especially like it was funny because that was one of the main complaints about the final X-Men film, Dark Phoenix, was that he was barely in the movie. Do you like Evan Peters? I'm not trying to say like is he going to be a good fit in the show, which I think he obviously will be. But do you think he was great in those films, and that does that make you excited for him to be now in the MCU?
Well, yeah. Well, my short answer will be yes. I do want to give a quick background, just a second here, so anyone who's watching this, if you're confused on like what we're kind of talking about. So, in the first movie that we saw Scarlet Witch in was the 2015 movie Age of Ultron, the Avengers movie, and Scarlet Witch Wanda was also alongside her brother Quicksilver, played by a different actor. That's not Evan Peters, not the guy that's in this movie or in this episode 5 for WandaVision. Yeah. So in that movie Age of Ultron, Quicksilver dies protecting Hawkeye, and he's dead, and he never is seen again in any other movie. However, Evan Peters now shows up on Wanda's doorstep as her brother Quicksilver, and the funny little reference here is that Evan Peters plays Quicksilver in the X-Men movies, and that's what Max was asking me about. And so that's kind of the reference here. So Evan Peters plays as Quicksilver in a different movie franchise that is not related to this at all. It's the same character, but unrelated.
And during this time period, because if you remember from the prequel X-Men films, like First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, and Dark Phoenix, they're all in, like, for example, Apocalypse takes place during the 80s. So this Evan Peters was still actually going around during the actual 80s, which I think was also a brilliant move to use as well.
For sure. And yeah, and as far as like Dark Phoenix and stuff, like I never saw that movie. Like and then the other movie, X-Men Apocalypse, I thought was just pain for my eyes. So I couldn't really see much from the blood pouring out of my eye sockets. So but he was in Days of Future Past. That was the first one he was in, right? Or yeah. So I thought he was awesome in that movie. He was amazing. And the scene in the kitchen that's all slow-mo and then his slow-mo scene saving everyone from the house are spectacular. Two of like the best superhero scenes from any movie ever. Like, so in Days of Future Past, he does a great job as Quicksilver, and I couldn't be more excited to see him in this. You know, I think there's a lot of potential for his character.
My major prediction is that they don't really bring up Wanda and Pietro's parents in the show, but we find out in the comic books that their parents is Magneto. I think we're gonna get Magneto as the big cameo, and it's gonna be Ian McKellen from the original X-Men films.
That would be insane.
That's what I think the big cameo is is Ian McKellen back as Magneto. It would be amazing if we get that at the end of the season.
That'd be insane. That'd be absolutely insane.
Yeah.
How many episodes will there be? Like total?
There is 6, 7, 8. There's 4 episodes
9.
left. There's 9
Four
episodes, so
left
4
to
left.
go. Okay.
Very
Wow,
exciting,
only
right?
9 episodes for a show that is like very short.
I don't know how they're gonna wrap it up.
That's
Yeah.
the great part, though. We still have so many questions that need to be answered right now.
That is the best part. We love questions.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I guess eventually the time periods catch up to present day, and then she's like,
Yep.
"Oh, guess it's over. My
Yeah.
production has ended." Do they go into the future? Like,
That's what I want to know. Like, are we gonna go into the future in her world, like to see how I guess how her and Vision's relationship plays out? Are we gonna stay in the present? Like, nobody has any clue. So that's the good part that we just get to keep watching and talk about. each
the
week.
reality was created out of like her desperation and her grief and like her mental traumas and everything. So
Exactly.
it's not like she has a plan for it. I think she's winging everything as she goes. And honestly, like if she was freaking out last minute, I guess trying to move that reality somewhere else is how she would escape if that's what she wants to do.
Yeah. And still, I still don't think it's entirely her. They're trying to make you think that she's the overarching person controlling everyone and everything. If you know the comics, you know it's not
Who's that-
obviously her doing
Who's
everything.
that character that people were saying could be pretending to be Quicksilver in this? Like,
Mephisto.
yeah, that
Mephisto.
guy.
Yeah, the main villain of Wanda's comic book.
Yeah,
Correct.
So
Mephisto.
is it probably him? Is Quicksilver
Yeah, 'cause-
actually?
Because it's funny because the Mephisto basically in the comic book is the devil, quote unquote. And Agnes, who is in the comic books, Agatha Harkness, is one of the people who is the main person, like number 2 to Mephisto in the comic books. And she even brings up the devil. If you go back to the second episode, she does bring up the devil. So Mephisto is somehow going to be in this. I hope it's not because, like, if Quicksilver goes like, "Oh, it's not me, it's Mephisto," I wouldn't really like that a lot.
Yeah.
I
I
want
like
Evan
Peters.
Peters to stay forever.
Yes, he's great. He is
I
great.
agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah. I mean, I couldn't be more excited for the next episode of WandaVision, but I think we should table that discussion for now until next week. However,
The WandaVision podcast.
the WandaVision podcast, absolutely. At least for now, and then we'll become the Falcon and the Winter Soldier podcast.
Yeah.
But yes, Lauren, I do know that there is a couple TV shows or movies that you wanted to talk about that I saw that you put in here. If you want to talk about them, now you can.
Well, the only one that's like pretty new was Bonding on Netflix. It was like an original. I think it came out like this past year or something. And it's like basically like if you can take dominatrix content and make it a chick flick, but then make it a TV show. Was basically, and I liked it. It was cute and like it's not like that serious. It's like a comedy and like you follow this girl and her like gay best friend in their quest to just become professional dominatrixes in the industry, and then also he has a comedy career. And I'm like, and it's all in New York, so it's really cute. You learn how to tie one of those knots, and of course,
Man, this seems like my kind of
no,
show.
right? It's basically like it's so like watered down version of 50 Shades of Grey. Like it's like it feels kind of like fun, like kind of like high school vibes, but they're like just adults. Like it's really cute.
I love that. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah,
It
that you
definitely
should.
seems like my kind of show.
Really lighthearted. It is also educational because it's like you don't really know like how to be a professional dominatrix. No one teaches you that. So in the show, they go to like dominatrix school and they like learn things.
What was the show called again?
Bonding.
And where can we watch that?
Netflix.
Netflix.
Look at me. I like know things. I like researched. I'm
Oh my
so
god.
prepared.
So proud of you.
That's great.
Going to watch this, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You'll watch it. We'll come back for like a more in-depth review. The other two I wanted to throw out. I don't know if either of you have seen What the Bleep Do We Know? It's a little old. It's from 2004. Or if any of you watched, they came out in 2020, The Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind.
No, I haven't heard of those.
Okay, so Close Encounters. So you know how everything with aliens has been really popping up recently? The government's like, yeah, aliens are real. Stephen Greer's like, yeah, I left the government and I was a whistleblower and I told you all aliens are real and now I get death threats. So basically, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, it's like you're talking to Stephen Greer and he's like, aliens are real and we've made contact. And you're like, really? I don't see them. And he's like, basically, you have to meditate and zen out and you can talk to aliens. And there's like protocols he made where like, because like, and then they talk about all these people that just go out into the wilderness and just summon aliens and they're nice. They like heal people's like hearing and they're just friendly and then they take light photos together. I don't think this makes any sense, but you should watch it. It's technically a documentary. And apparently, we can just talk to aliens whenever we want. The government doesn't want you to know that. And oh yeah, it's because like they're not three-dimensional beings. They're like higher dimensional, so they're not in the 3D. But if you want to like talk to them, you just gotta like if you exude love and peace, basically, they'll be like, "Yeah, you vibe. We'll hang out." Um, you all think I'm crazy.
That
You
no,
gotta
that
watch
is actually really cool.
Wow.
it. It
This
all
sound
made so much sense when I was watching it. Like my brain was firing, things were clicking. I was like, aliens and spirituality are connected. Like, um, and the other one, what the bleep do we know? I know Jacob said he likes bad movies, like cheesy bad movies. Like, this is for you. It looks like something they would produce to show like high schoolers about how to do things in life, but it's nothing that you would ever learn in school. They talk about how like tons of crazy shit, like how your intentions actually can affect water and like how electrons behave whether they are or not being watched and all these things that are so unusual but they're all been researched and studied and they present it to you in this hilarious format and it's like a comedy and the animations are terrible and you get to go like it's so funny like you need to look at the visuals for this but what the bleep I watched it on Gaia but I'm sure you could not pirate it somehow and watch it for free. But yeah, what the bleep we know is funny. It's like if you want to know things that you didn't even know you wanted to know.
Interesting, interesting. Well, you
Yeah.
definitely gave us a lot of stuff to watch. I don't know if I'll be watching the Dominatrix show, but maybe
It's
the
really
Alien
like
show I'll check out.
the aliens one is really
will
good.
be
The aliens are like the topic now. Like
Interesting for sure. Um, Max, I also know you had some shows you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, two new movies that just came out this past week. One was on Netflix and one was on Amazon Prime. The first one is called Malcolm and Marie. It's getting a lot of talk. It's on Netflix with Zendaya and John David Washington from the creators of Euphoria. This was the first film to be made during the pandemic. And I'll just say this: these are the two best actors of their generation, I think, right now. Zendaya and John David Washington, who's the son of Denzel Washington from Black Klansman. They are fantastic. It takes place in their one house. They don't leave the house the entire movie. They come home from John David Washington's directorial debut movie, and they're talking about critics, their relationship. It's really, really great. I really loved it. It's very divisive. I think just because John David Washington has a 10-minute rant about critics and how bad critics are. Maybe that's why critics aren't really liking the movie, but I did really like the movie. And the other one is called Bliss, which is on Amazon Prime with Owen Wilson and Salma Hayek, which I really didn't think was not that good at all. It's like a is your reality real or not kind of thing. It's like WandaVision. It's kind of a mixture of that where Owen Wilson, his life's not going well, and Salma Hayek comes along like this is not the real reality. A lot of these people aren't even real, and you start to learn that there's messaging involved. I just wasn't. I really just didn't like it. But Malcolm and Marie, definitely check that out on Netflix. It needs more love from a lot more people. Zendaya needs to be getting nominated at the Oscars because her and John David were not nominated throughout award season so far, except for Zendaya today for Critics' Choice. So please, everyone, check that one out on Netflix. Highly recommend.
Awesome, awesome. And Gabby, I know you had some stuff you wanted to talk about too.
Oh yes. So we all know how obsessed I have been with the Cinderella movie that was supposed to come out on February 5th.
someone's got to do it
Because
for us.
I haven't. Well, The review is that it is coming out now in July of 2021. That is the whole thing. I was like, good. Honestly, like I wish it came out when they said it would because I was so excited to watch it. But I have seen still like no publicity for it. I finally started to see some sort of publicity for this movie when they pushed it back to July. So hopefully we'll start to see some more trailers and more publicity surrounding this. So I'm super excited about that. But yes, July 2021 is when it's expected to come out now. And speaking of Cinderella, the 1997 Cinderella with Brandy, Whitney Houston, Whoopi Goldberg is coming on Disney Plus on the 12th. And wow, this Cinderella movie, I have seen it personally, and it is the most diverse Cinderella I have ever seen. If you look at if you Google Cinderella 1997 cast, just look at how diverse this cast is. Like this movie and all of the big names and personalities of this movie like come together, and wow, it is a movie. So if you have Disney Plus on February 12th, please watch it. I know I'm going to rewatch it because it was so good. And you know, everybody knows Whitney Houston has such an amazing voice. It's an iconic voice. So this movie, I'm so excited. But yes, February 12th, it is coming out. And I know last time we talked, I was on season 3 of Lucifer. I am now on like season 5.
Nice. It's so easy to watch.
It really is. I have gotten severely addicted to it to the
I've
point
watched
I've
like
barely watched anything else except this.
I've watched
movie.
seasons in like a day. Like it just goes by like that.
Oh yeah, I don't even know when season like 4 started.
Yeah.
When season 4 ended and season 5 started. I've just been like just watching it like back to back to back. Like
Where in Lucifer are you? Like what's happening?
I am on season 5, episode 8. My thing just went off. Season 5, episode 8 of Lucifer. Like I just started episode 8 before we finish this. So what's happening? Oh, Michael is back trying to kind of like ruin Lucifer's life again. Dan saw that Lucifer is actually the devil, and that's
Oh, I
kind of
love Dan.
Oh, so you're on the last episode.
last episode. What?
Season
I'm on
5,
8?
episode 8. You're on the last episode.
Shut up! This is the last episode. Oh
Well,
my God.
season 5 is split up into 5A and 5B, and 5B hasn't been announced yet. So that episode premiered over the summer, this past summer.
Oh my God! So I have one more to watch, and then I can finally watch all these new movies and shows because Lucifer has taken up my entire watching experience besides the Super Bowl and Bachelor Mondays.
I mean, what's better than that?
Bro, I'm not complaining like at all.
I've been seeing Lucifer in so long. I miss Maze.
I love Maze though. She's such a badass, and the fact that like she's the outfit, the personality, the fact that she has never come out as bi, but she hits on both girls and boys, and I can relate. I'm like, I fucking love this character. Like, whoever thought to bring Maze into this show is like, I love her. She is like my spirit animal, literally.
Yeah, like I feel like if I ever met her in real life, I'd be like, "Can I follow you around and just always be near you?"
Literally, like I want her to be my friend. Like I think her and I could be good friends. We're both like a little crazy and like obsessed with people. I think that's like why we'll be good friends. I need to take
someone to teach me how to throw some freaking knives around. You know?
Yeah, I've been knife throwing before, and it's so hard, but she makes it look so easy.
Like yeah, I like those like nice, cute little blades. You just like and you just like hit everyone. You're like, yay!
Yeah, I love her as a character.
Graceful.
Oh, after Lucifer, I'm actually probably gonna watch iCarly because fun fact, it's on Netflix now, seasons 1 and 2. My my elementary school heart is so happy.
Well, I know we only have a couple minutes left. Max, if you want to touch on some of the Golden Globe stuff for the last 5 minutes or so we have here. Here, I'm gonna pull it up so our viewers can see on screen.
Okay, cool.
So go ahead. You can go through it.
How high?
Just tell me when you pull it up.
Yep, I got it good. I got it ready. Go ahead.
Okay, so first we have I'll just do the big 2 awards to start for movies wise. So we have Best Motion Picture Drama, So if you don't know the big difference between the Golden Globes and the Oscars doesn't separate anything into any category. The Golden Globes do musical and comedy for some reasons at the same category, and drama is a category. So it splits it up. So it makes it very complicated for the Academy Awards. So for Best Motion Picture Drama, we have The Trial of Chicago 7, Nomadland, Mank, Promising Young Woman, and The Father. I've seen a couple of those films. I know Gab has seen Promising Young Woman and really loves that movie. And I've seen Trial of the Chicago 7, which I think is a very good movie. One of my favorites of last year, and Mank, which I thought was good, not great. This category is missing a lot of black movies from last year, like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, The Five Bloods, and One Night in Miami, which did get love in a few categories, but should have been here in Best Drama. It was a big misfire from the HFPA for not putting any African-American led movies and Judas and the Black Messiah. So it was a big misfire in my opinion, even though some of these movies are quite good. Nomadland is currently the heavy favorite because they've won the most awards so far in award season. To move on to director really quick too, guys, 3 women got nominated for director out of 5, which is a huge accomplishment, huge step forward. Only 9 women all time were nominated, and we got 3 more this year, which was Regina King getting nominated for One Night in Miami, Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, and Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman. So really great out, and David Fincher and Aaron Sorkin are also both in that category. So seems like a female also could win that one. Again, Chloe Zhao for me is currently the favorite for Nomadland, and that's coming on Hulu in like 2 weeks. So if you guys want to be a part of the Oscar race, Nomadland is going to be on Hulu. A lot of these movies are Netflix, like Trial of the Chicago 7, Mank is all on Netflix. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, that's on Netflix. Chadwick Boseman did get his nomination for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which was a big deal. He will probably get the Oscar as well. So a lot happened. I am very annoyed with the Jared Leto nomination. Really disappointed. Because I did, as you guys know, if you watch the podcast, did review The Little Things, did not like that movie. And it wasn't like Jared Leto was bad, but it wasn't an Oscar or award nominated worthy performance. He's done better work in the past. And he got nominated not just at the Golden Globes, but also the SAG. So I have no idea what's going on. But Jared Leto's getting nominations for The Little Things. Hopefully
which was that? Which category was that for?
So that was Best Supporting Actor, was The Little Things. Best Supporting Actor, which was and again, I still think Chadwick Boseman should also be nominated in that category for The Five Bloods for Supporting Actor. But again, this is a packed year, a lot, and also Jacob, you want to talk about animated, which is actually, even though Soul is going to win, it's still a pretty good year for animation when you have Onward, also from Pixar. You have Over the Moon, which is Netflix. Wolfwalkers from Apple TV Plus, and The Croods 2. So I personally, 3 of those movies were actually in my top 10 of the year, which was Soul, Onward, and Over the Moon. Like, I love those 3 movies a lot. Jacob, what did you want to talk about with that category?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about Soul before on the podcast, but I just think it's an absolutely amazing movie. I really loved it. And, while I don't want to like discredit any of the other movies in here, I just feel like Soul is the front runner for this category.
Yes. And I hope, and it's, you go.
Like, if they don't win, I literally will be so surprised. Like,
yeah. I agree. And Soul will also win score as well, Best Musical Score. What a score it is. And hopefully it is pushing for a Best Picture nomination at the Oscars. Only one animated movie of all time have been nominated at Best Picture, and that was Toy Story 3. So I think Soul could do it. It's really a great movie, and everyone loves it. I haven't heard anyone complain about the movie. So I'm hoping Soul does very well. Again, they really did spread the love a lot. I was just very disappointed. And comedy is a weak category this year. Best comedy, musical comedy, with Music, which is a film that no one's ever heard of. You have Borat 2, Hamilton, Palm Springs, and The Prom.
What category is that?
Best motion picture, musical or comedy. Very weak year. None of these movies will be nominated for Best Picture. Borat is going to get a lot of love because a lot of people love Borat too. Hamilton really shouldn't be in this category. I still firmly believe that it's not a movie. They just shot it on the stage. But Lin-Manuel Miranda has been nominated for acting for Hamilton. So they did give away. I mean, James Corden was even nominated for The Prom. They didn't nominate Meryl Streep for The Prom. They nominated James Corden. I have no idea. The Golden Globes love to be different. They love to be different. But a lot of these nominations, Jared Leto and James Corden especially, odd choices. But the SAG Awards and the Critics' Choice also have come out, and those have been more what I prefer. But I was very disappointed with this award show. But again, if you're a big fan of Promising Young Woman, this was a huge win. They got a lot more nominations than a lot of people thought, especially director. Obviously, Carey Mulligan was going to get nominated, but director and picture and screenplay, like big time awards, and 3 female directors. That's a big deal. Maybe we get the same at the Oscars. If that happens, we're heading in the right direction for female, and hopefully those 3 African American movies that I brought up earlier do get Best Picture nominations because they also deserve so. But it's a weird year because of the time period of when stuff is coming out changed. But the Oscar nominations come out next month, and that'll be a bigger deal if there are some major snubs. But if you're a Promising Young Woman fan, this could be the award show for you because it could get a lot of awards. Very liked, well liked. So definitely. And again, all these movies are basically all on streaming. So if you want to get involved in the award race, definitely just go to your streaming services. They should be on there.
All right. Well.
Yeah, no, Promising Young Woman definitely deserves to win. That movie, I still can't get over. I think that has become one of my favorite movies of all time.
We should win.
We should.
We should win. Movie Mafia. We should win.
Best
Absolutely.
podcast.
Best podcast 2021. Let's go.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, with that being said, I know that there's plenty of more, Golden Globe stuff to talk about, and we will be keeping track of the Golden Globes in the future as we go on. But for now, we've gone a little bit over our time, but that's not a big deal. So like I said, I told you guys we'd have a long episode for today, and we're going to bring all this news over to the next episode. Anything else, so we'll probably still talk about some Golden Globe stuff next episode. But all right, so I think that's going to be all for this episode here of the Movie Mafia podcast. Thank you everybody for joining us. We appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next episode. See ya.